So welcome back to everyone to this last session of this 50-hour training with Mr. Sandeep Goyalji. Welcome Sandeep Goyalji. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, sir. So we will start this session within 2 or 3 minutes. After
Good evening, Sanjay. How are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm
Joshi
good.
sir?
Good, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Now I will take another class of you. That is environmental impact on valuation.
Sir, voice of Mr. Sandeep Goyal is not clear. Please.
Because I am just correcting it. Just hold on. Hello everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Now I will take yes. Good evening. Everybody seeing the slide? Slide is visible to everybody?
Yes, sir. Now
Yes,
visible.
sir. Visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Sound is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will take environmental issues in valuation. Topic is somehow less important, but 2 or 3 marks question will be there in the examination hall. Whatever you have learned till date, you need to revise that. And in this topic, as far as this IB-based syllabus is concerned, syllabus is environmental issues in valuation, environment and valuation, difference between market price and the negative value consequent on environmental impact. When a valuation report is prepared, in the morning I have discussed in detail each and every aspect of the valuation, how the reports are prepared and how the values are arrived. And there is some impact of environment, like how the environment will impact the valuation. Anybody from you? How the environment will impact the valuation? Environment will impact in the sense that the property which you are going to purchase is polluted one. Land is polluted. Let the place where you are going to purchase the property is a polluted one and you are not aware about it. And you have purchased it. To remedy that property, to make it habitable again, you spend lot of amount over it, and that lot of amount is a negative value. You got my point? Apart from that amount which you are spending as a capital on the property to get it remedied, there is some stigma attached to the land. Stigma in the sense, this property, one part is that capital is having the negative value. Another part is that उस area of land, the land where this, the area where this land is situated is a polluted one. Whether or not that may be polluted or not polluted, the stigma value is also taken into consideration when you are arriving at the cost of the property which is environmentally impacted. So that's why this topic has been put on into the valuation report. Is there any environmental negative factor attached with the property? There may be a column or maybe row which you have to explain it. No, there is no environmental negative impact on the property. If there is, yes, you have to elaborate what type of environment pollution is there and what will be the remedial cost on that and what is the stigma attached to that property. That's why it has been included in the syllabus. Environmental issues of like air pollution. Air pollution, everybody knows in Delhi in winter, there is a stigma, there is a smoke formation, and that goes into months time, 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, and the quality of air deteriorates to such an extent that it becomes non-breathable, non-consumable. To clean that air, what the cost comes over it, and the negative impact on the health of the people will bring you the negative value also on the property where your area are in the danger zones. So that's why this topic is being discussed here. Now, environmental issues of air pollution, water pollution, environmental factor and their effect, measures to restore the damage caused to cure. Outlines of environmental legislations. 1 or 2 marks question will definitely come from the Indian Forest Act 1927, the Water Prevention Control of Pollution Act 1974, the Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, the environmental most important part is Environmental Protection Act 1986. From this topic only, 1 or 2 questions definitely being asked in your objective terminology. What are the questions that can be asked and what are the topics involved here? I will discuss that part. So 3 marks questions will be asked in the IBBI from this topic. It will be 3 marks, it will be 4 marks. A stick parameter, there is no stick parameter in IBBI. When the examiner will ask you the question, a set of questions has been given to you in objective form on online mode. You may assume that 4 or 5 marks questions are there, and in the syllabus there are 3 marks. So it may vary. Don't worry about it. Now you come to the point. There are different type of pollutions, everybody knows it in the daily life, and the environmental factors which are important in a set valuation are potentially detrimental to real property, plant and machinery. This may be gases, heat, radiations, noise, vibration, chemical pollution may be there, hazardous substances, or water, groundwater pollution, soil and having direct or indirect effect. So these are the pollutions which create a negative value on your asset, that may be property or maybe planted machinery. Clear? So our aim is giving this lecture or including these chapters in IBBI. IBBI has taken into consideration the environmental impact of environmental negative value, environmental stigma values, which brings down the value of the property. Clear to everybody? Now, these are the environmental pollution types: air, water, land, noise, and radioactive radiation. These 3 types of pollution everybody knows: air, water, and land. Land pollution in the sense there is some radioactive emissions emitting from the land. There is some, you can say, land has the more water, it has stagnated the water, land soil has been polluted due to any of the reasons, chemical spill is there, oil spill is there, land can also be polluted. Noise and thermal pollution is there, everybody knows the noise pollution, which is increasing day by day due to use of lot of machineries, automobiles, increasing of this, you can say, traffic means, And radioactive radiations, lot of radioactive medicines are there which create pollution and impact on humans on that. So these are the pollution factors. Coming to the next slide, this topic is more into theoretical type. When you will study, you will gain more or less. I will try to explain you the important aspects which can be asked in the examination. As far as examination point is concerned, air pollution, types of pollutants, secondary pollutant, primary pollutants such as which are produced from natural events or human activities, dust storms, emissions from vehicles, secondary pollutant like chemical reactions which can form into the air and among the primary pollutant, just like formation of sulfuric acid. When primary pollutants, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, these are the matters. You can study it. It will be beneficial for you. Water pollution. When the quality or composition of water changes directly or indirectly as a result of man's activities such that it becomes unfit for any purpose, it is said to be polluted. What is called water pollution? What is composition of water? Which is drinkable, pH value is there, total dissolved solids are there. You know that everybody has installed water purifiers at their homes or water cleaners at their home. What it functions? It basically segregates the TDS which is coming in the water. That is a pollutant. So when they will segregate or extract the pollutant, the water becomes pure. And at the second hand, they try to maintain the pH level of the water. pH level of 7 is best for drinking the water. Below that, it becomes basic, and above that, it becomes acidic. So, water should have a pH value of balance of 7. Types of water, from where you can get the fresh water, surface water sources, rivers, lakes, streams, groundwater, you can say wells, aquifers, these are the sources of water. Sources of water pollution, oil leakage, oil spillage. Oil is coming through the ships and the ships get broken or got accident somewhere and the water is spilled over on the surface of the water. A big accident has happened recently near Indonesia last week to I think fortnight, and it create a havoc and it create a ecological imbalance in the area that will take life of the water go into danger. The water reach to the you can say coastal regions also impact the beauty and fauna and flora of the area. Water soluble organic chemical acids, salts, and compounds of toxic metals such as mercury and lead, organic compound, oil, gasoline. These are the sources of water pollution. These are mainly industrial sources. Water is mainly polluted due to industrial waste. This is the primary source of water pollution. You can directly say that it is due to industrial waste or effluent generated by the industries which is forming it. What the government has made provisions to it? Government has made mandatory to every industry to install an effluent treatment plant, that is called ETPs. What treatment they give to the water? They basically remove the mixed TDS, mixed chemicals which are hazardous when the water goes into the drains to the aquatic life of the river. Finally, drains meets in the river for the natural cleaning of water to extract the pollutant at source. That's why it has put on mandatory to the industries not to give direct access to the drains. any this effluent generated in the industry. So that's why more and more stringent rules are prepared, more and more stringent laws are prepared to protect the environment. Sources of water pollution, industrial effluent, mining and agriculture waste mines, agriculture pesticides, fertilizer, herbicides, these are the sources of water pollution. Soil pollution. Soil is thin covering over the land consisting of a mixture of thin covering, mixture of minerals, organic materials, living organisms, air and water. Under ideal climatic conditions, soft parent material may develop into a centimeter of soil in 15 years. Causes of soil degradation, erosion by wind and water, accelerated by human activities such as farming, construction, overgrazing of livestock, burning of grass cover, deforestation. Our soil is polluted by these reasons. Environmental legislation. Now the point starts here. In the previous slides, 10 slides, I have given you some introduction. What is the pollution? How it affects our environment? What environment consists of? Air, water, and soil or earth. If you pollute all the three natural resources, then the pollution happens. How to curb the pollution? Government has mandatory formed in the Constitution itself. Article 21, right to pollution-free environment. It has been inserted in the Constitution of India. Everybody has the right to have the pollution-free environment. On that basis, lot of cases were won. Like one of the case of using of CNG into the commercial vehicles by MC Mehta and others. Article 48A imposes a duty on the state to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. These are the constitutional provisions made to protect the environment. Article 51AG imposes duty on every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have a compassion for living creature. So these are the important articles. A examiner can ask you in paper, in examination. Article 21. What are the constitutional provisions under which articles constitutional provisions were made for protection of environment? So he will give you three options. He may give you Article 21, he may give you Article 22, 29, or give you 50. Part of that, you must have to know these are the three articles in which constitutional provisions are given for protection of environment in India. Clear? Major legislation on environment in India. Now, Indian government from time to time has framed and passed in Parliament 4 legislative bills. First was the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Second was the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977. Fourth is the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. Out of this, Environment Protection Act 1986 is the most important one, and it covers all the other legislation which was passed by the government from time to time. The examiner will ask question from water, air and EPA. Not more than that. 3 marks question will be there. You have the knowledge about it. What is Environmental Protection Act? What is Water Prevention and Control Act? He can ask you in which year the Water Prevention and Control Act was passed by Indian Parliament. then you can say he will give you years. Or he may call in 1974, which act was passed. So here, the four options were there. Out of the four, you have to select one. In this way, they will ask you the question. Okay? The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 19. Hello, everybody is getting voice?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are.
The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. What this act stipulates, this act provides for the prevention and control of water pollution and the maintaining or restoring of wholesomeness of water. What is their wholesomeness of water? This is the most important term which has been used there. Wholesomeness means overall water quality. Maintain or restore करने के लिए this act was being enacted and used. For carrying out of our object, the act contemplates the constitution of Central Pollution Control Board. To carry out this objective of improving the wholesomeness of water, constitution of CPCB was recommended at the national level and State Pollution Control Board at the state level. Like in Delhi, we have the Delhi State Pollution Control Committee, DPCC. In Haryana, we have the Haryana State Pollution Control Board. In Himachal, we are having Himachal Pradesh State Pollution Control Board. So what they control? They control the pollution being discharged by the industries into the environment. The CPCB, apart from functioning as a coordinating national level body, also acts as a state board in respect of the union territory. Those have since been constituted. Clear? Acts. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Rule 75 and Amendment Rules 2011 regulate the qualification of the terms and conditions of service of the members of the Pollution Control Board. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1977, it imposes a duty of cess and levy and collection of cess. You must have seen in the invoice tax, there is a row in which water cess. The water cess is taken under this act. This cess is collected with a due view to augment the resources of Central Board and the State Board for Prevention and Control of Water Pollution, constituted under the Water Act 1974. The Act was last amended in 2003. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Rules 1978. This will not be asked. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. You must have to remember the year in which these acts were passed and their major aims and objectives only passed. Nothing more than that is required as far as the examination is concerned. This act provides for prevention, control and abatement of air pollution in the nation. Abatement, to stop the air pollution. Prevention, to prevent the air pollution and to control the air pollution in the nation of the country. This act mainly regulate and control emission from automobiles and industrial plants under the Air Act. What this act regulate? Control emission from automobile and industrial plants. All industries operating within designated air pollution control areas must obtain consent from the state boards. Whatever the industries are being set up in the industrial areas set up by the government, they have to take consent from the state board. Their emission level will be minimum, or they are preventing the air to pollute by installing air pollution control equipments at the source itself. Clear? The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Rule 1982 defined the procedure for the meetings of the board and the power entrusted to them. So, 1981 Air Pollution Prevention and Control Act, what is its aim? What is its objective? That has to be kept in mind, and how it operates. Clear. You can ask the Air Prevention Control Act Amendment in 1987, what it gives? It gives you empower the Central and State Pollution Control Board to meet with grave emergencies. Any emergencies are there, how they can mitigate the plan for that, how they have been empowered by this act only. You know, when in November and December and January, the air pollution deteriorates in Delhi, so all the states have formed a common platform there. And all the which are nearby to Delhi, like Haryana, Punjab, UP, and they have designated a person who coordinate among them, and their weekly or bi-weekly meetings held to prevent the air to deteriorate, and what are the measures they will take. Under this act, they do all these things. Clear? Now is Environmental Protection Act, one of the most important act as far as the examination is concerned. This act passed by Parliament on 23rd May 1986. Authorized the central government to protect and improve environmental quality. It authorized the central government control and reduce pollution from all sources, and prohibit or restrict the setting and or operation of any industrial facility or environmental ground. What does it stipulate? It authorizes the central government for the protection of environment and improvement of environmental quality, and reduce pollution from all sources, and restrict. It may reject any industrial project on the ground of environmental only. It also provides for taking appropriate steps for the protection and improvement of human environment. The decisions of which were taken at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment held at Stockholm in June 1972, in which India also participated. This act further aims at implementing the decision aforesaid insofar as they relate to protection and improvement of the environment and the prevention of hazard of human beings, other living creatures, plant and property. So this paragraph is very important. Examiner can ask you a question: when was United Nations Conference on Human Environment held? When was held? Your answer is 1972. And where it was held? It held in Stockholm. So this type of question can be asked from this. Clear? These are the features of this act. This act also includes power of handling hazardous substance, prevention of environmental accidents, research, inspection of polluting units, establishment of laboratories, dissemination of information, etc. A complete set of administration procedure and organization structures are also envisaged under the Act. Penalty for each contravention of the provision of this Act, imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years. One can ask question: what punishment can be given under EPA 1986? And he will give you 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. With a fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupee or with both. And in case the failure of contravention continues, with additional fine which may extend to 5,000 rupees per day, during which such failure or contravention continues after the conviction for the first such failure or contravention. If the failure of contravention continues beyond a period of 1 year after the date of conviction, the offender shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years. This act was last amended in 1991. Clear? Now, Environmental Protection Rules 1986 and subsequent amendment laid down procedure for setting standards of emission or discharge of environmental pollutant. The rules prescribe the parameters for the central government under which it can issue orders for prohibition and restriction on the location and operation of industries in different areas. The rules lay down the procedure for taking sample, service notice, submitting. The functions of the laboratory are also described under the rules, along with the qualification of the concerned regulations. Some more act. These are some more acts which are also in your syllabus. You will just go through these and you will get the quick answer over it. No, I will do one thing. After this, I will have some objective questions. Through that, you will have the idea how to answer the question. Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Rule 1989, the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. The main objective is to provide damages to victims of an accident which occur as a result of handling an hazardous substance. That applies to all owners assuming the production or handling of any hazardous chemical. Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rule 1988 is a legal binding healthcare institution to streamline the process of proper handling of hospital waste such as segregation, disposal, collection, and treatment. The Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 apply to every urban local body along with in urban agglomerations, census towns, notified areas, notified industrial township, area under the control of Indian Railway, airport, air bases, ports and harbors, defense establishments, special economic zones, state and central government organizations, places of pilgrims, religious and historical importance, as may be notified by respective state government from time to time, and to every domestic institutional commercial any other non-residential solid waste generators situated in areas except industrial waste, hazardous chemical, biomedical waste, e-waste, lead acid batteries, and radioactive waste. They that are covered under separate rules formed under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. So there are solid waste management rules. What the question can be asked? What it does not contain for the management of solid waste. What it doesn't contain? E-waste, lead acid batteries, biomedical waste, hazardous chemical and hazardous waste. So you have to keep these aspects into your mind while answering these questions. These rules lay down the duties of waste generator and authorities and the frequency of review and implementation of these rules at various levels. Again, the Construction and Demolition Waste Management Rule 2016, the rule shall apply to every waste resulting from construction, remodeling, repair and demolition of any civil structure of individual organization or authority who generate construction and demolition waste such as building material damages. In 2016, two major legislation were passed. Most important one, National Green Tribunal Act 2010. What does it act and why it was formed? This act provides for establishment of National Green Tribunal. So you must have heard in Delhi news that NGT has imposed ban on that. NGT has put so much of penalty to them. Basically, this tribunal was formed to look after all the appeals, all the cases related with the environmental pollution, creating, preventing, and stopping. How to the industries which are creating it, the disputes on the industries, maybe government, maybe non-government, to settle that disputes. The main aim of NGT is to settlement of, is to give decisions on the cases pertaining to the environmental issues. This for effective and expedient disposal of cases related to environmental protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources, including enforcement of any legal right related to environment and giving relief and compensation for damages to persons and property and for matters. Both the National Environment Tribunal Act 1995 and the National Environment Appellate Authority Act 1997 were repealed by enactment of the NGT Act in 2010. What do you mean by repealed? Repealed means they have been put null and void, both this act, by coming into force the NGT Act in 2010. Indian Forest Act 1927. It is one of the many surviving colonial statutes. It was enacted to consolidate the previous laws relating to forest that were passed before the 1920s. The transit of forest produce and the duty liable on timber and other forest produce. The Act gave the state government the power to create reserve forest and the right to use reserve forest for government use alone. It also created protected forest in which the use of resources by local people are controlled. So what was the aim of enacting Indian Forest Act 1927? The question will be asked in IBBI. The aim is to reserve the forest and to protect the forest. It can also levy taxes on the taking out of timber from the forest produce and the forest produce, both. The Indian Forest Act 1927 and Forest Conservation Act 1980 and 281. The question will be asked from both. The principal objective of this act is protection of and the conservation of the forest. It strictly restricts and regulate the de-reservation of forest or use of forest land for non-forest purposes without the prior approval of central government. Means the Forest Conservation Act, without approval of central government, any area which is lying in forest cannot be used as for any non-forest purposes. Unless and until central government gives in writing. The Act lays down prerequisites for diversion of forest land for non-forest purposes. The Act was amended in 1988 and rules were amended in 1992. The Forest Conservation Act came into force in which year? Only some of the people mark it 1927, but the exact answer is 1980. Industrial Safety and Occupational Health Laws. One of the most important is Factory Act 1948. It was amended in 1987 only. Act was enacted with the object. A question can be asked in IBPI. Which was the first act for occupational health laws in India? You directly say the Factory Act 1948 is the first act which was implemented by Government of India in 1948. Act was enacted with the object of protecting factory workers from subjecting to unduly long hours of bodily strain on manual labor. So this act stipulates that if a factory employs more than 10 workers and also the working condition and environment surrounding the worker is to be monitored, is to be given a comfortable one, and exploitation of the workers to be stopped. Employees should work in healthy and sanitary conditions so far as the manufacturing will allow, and that precautions should be taken for their safety and for prevention of accident. The factory act, however, is applicable only to factories that employ 10 or more workers. It covers only a small proportion of workers. The act defines a worker as any person employed directly or through any agency, including a contractor, whether for remuneration or not in any manufacturing process or in any work incidental to or connected with the manufacturing process. It is required that work performed should be connected with the product which is produced in the manufacturing process. This act is enforced by state government through factory inspectors. Now the factory inspector has been abolished and another pupils have been employed for that. The Mines Act 1952. So these are the important legislation for the environmental aspect and other workers' benefit. These are discussed in detail. And only 3 marks will be there for this whole of this gimmick exercise. So you have to go through it. 3 marks are important. We cannot leave this. This is an act to amend and consolidate the law relating to regulation of labor and safety in mines and extend to the whole of the person who are from mechanical or production background. They can easily understand this. And the persons who are from civil engineering background, they can easily understand the environmental laws. So this is an act to amend and consolidate the law relating to the regulation of labor and safety in mines, particularly in mines, coal, metal and oil, and extend to whole of India. The significant obligation under the Mine Act and the Mine Rules 1955 include the formation of safety committees in every mine. A question can be asked, where the formation of safety committees as per Mine Act 1952? Where 100 persons more are employed, less are employed, or 10 persons or more are employed? The correct answer is where 100 persons or more are employed, providing a notification of accident and the appointment of workman inspector by the manager. One inspector for every 500 miners. The Act states that adolescents not completed 15 years are prohibited from any mining operation. The initial and periodical examination of miners is to be conducted and notice is to be provided for any noticeable diseases. The Directorate of Mines is empowered to undertake safety and occupational health surveys in the mines, and the central government is empowered to appoint a competent person for inquiring into occupational diseases that have been detected. So basically, it is a welfare act for the welfare of the workers who are employed in the mining industry by formation of committees, by stringent implementation of law for their health. Other acts, these are other acts. You just go through that so that. General effect of contamination of property. Now I'm coming to the exam point of view. General effect of contaminated property on valuation. What will be effect if the property is contaminated? Fall of demand, the demand for the property. Everybody is listening? There's a pin drop silence.
Yes, sir.
Some
Listening.
people just
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are listening.
Please speak something. Some people have left. They have just offered it and left the lecture.
No, microphones are closer.
No,
muted the mic.
but they are not available. They have, I think, they have gone to sleep and other things. 4 or 5 I am seeing it itself.
Sir, 42 people are there. Yeah.
Basically, subject is not so. Basically, subject. The thing is that The more you pay attention, the more you will learn. If you will have this, what is this topic? Every topic is important. You have to pay attention. You will learn something out of it. It's not a waste of time.
Actually, sir, there is some problem in sound. We are getting sound by breakage or echoing.
There basically 26 people are there. 18, 19 are not coming. 5 or 6 are complaining about this. There may be possibility that their network may be weak or there is problem with the equipment also. I am having now the fiber network. That is the most advanced speed I have taken. 100 Mbps speed is going on. So this is the latest one which I am using it. General effect of contaminated property and valuation. What is general effect? Anybody from you? Just speak out it. What is general effect on valuation of a property? What are the effect? If a property is polluted, so what effect do you anticipate? They will fall in demand? Simple.
Fall in price, assets
Yes,
of
fall in price, stigma attached to it. Property is polluted, we will not buy it. That area is polluted once. There are a lot of problems are there of pollution. Nobody wants to buy property in a place where the pollution is there. And this is a major concern. In this way, fall of demand, fall of price, asset on the market say asset will get out from the market, risk of lawsuits, there risk that suits can be formed, disputes in the NGT, High Court, local courts can
so
be.
what is the difference between reduced market value or the fall in price
Reduced market value. Yes, good question.
and fall of price?
Fall of price, yes. Reduced market value. If you are going to sell in market, fall of price is a general term. Please. A general term when there is a fall in the price. Generally, if you see the area which are Anandvia, near Anandvia, a stage came out there, air pollution was too high 1 year back or 2 years back. So there was a general trend there, nobody wants to buy property there for the living purpose. What was the reason? There was high contamination of air there. High contamination of P10, P5 was found. So there is a general fall in price of 10 to 20% happened there. Second comes out reduced market value. So reduced market value happened when particularly your property is affected, not all the general property is affected. When I will value your property particularly, I know a particular block out of the 10 block is affected due to, it may be due to land pollution. Land pollution in the sense, something entered into the environment, into the land, you cannot, you have bad smell every time, you have some allergy reactions there, or the radiations are emitting from there. There is a reduced market value over it. So it covers only a localized portion and it covers whole of the, you can say, place. This is the major difference between this. Difficulty in getting finance. No finance company is going to put their money in Nanja where they see that likely pollution is happening and there is a demand, less demand of the property, falling price of the property, difficulty in getting funds for remediation too. Clear? As far as our valuation is concerned, these are the important factors while arriving a valuation of a particular property. If it is contaminated through pollution. You know, there can be due to groundwater pollution also. If the groundwater is polluted, no person wants to buy plot in that locality because they know if they extract water in the hour of need, then Have you heard anybody who has purchased a plot where there is no groundwater? Nobody want to buy a plot at that place. They know it. If there is no groundwater, how they will survive in future if there is no pipe supply? They will totally depend on government source, not on your own. This is a major factor.
Sir, get us some example of contamination property. Any example?
I will give you. Have patience. Impact in value and cost reason on contaminated property. I will give you an example. This is the example. A property has a original unimpaired value of rupees 90 lakh. The comparable sales of the similar contaminated impaired property transaction to such property very recently show that the value is 55 lakh 45,000. This is the impaired value. Are you getting? The cost of remediation is found to be, what is the cost of remediation is 20 lakh. Determine the stigma value. So what will be the stigma value? 55 lakh 45,000 plus 20 lakh minus the 90 lakh. That will be your stigma value. You got my point. What is the stigma attached to that property? You got my point.
Basic loss.
The sale evidence for unavailable property is given. Comparable sales of contaminated site is also furnished. Solution step 1. Estimate the property value deviation due to contamination. Unimpaired value. Unimpaired value is how much? 90 lakh. You got my point? Impaired value, less in value. How much value has reduced? 90 lakh minus. Do you have calculators with you?
Yeah.
Minus
14 lakh 55,000.
55,000. How much is there? 34 lakh 55,000 is the diminution in value. No, he is telling that out of this value, cost of remediation is only 20 lakh and the value has reduced 34.5 lakh. Now, 30 lakh, 34 lakh 50,000 minus remediation cost is 20 lakh. So what is the cost stigma attached to this property is 14 lakh 50,000. Clear?
Yes.
Clear? Why I am
Yes,
telling again and again what is the stigma? This is the stigma value. This is the fear value. A fear has created in the mind of the pupil. If you will not buy that property, हम तो खरीदेंगे boss. We will buy this property on this rate only. No, this is polluted property. And you know it, the value of remediation means you have restored this property, remediate it by spending 20 lakh rupees. Now clear? Example is clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Not
Yes,
not,
sir.
yes.
Yes,
So
it
this-
is clear, sir.
This type of question.
Sir, property near coastal area can also be called contamination property.
No. Coastal area, near coastal area cannot be a, you can say, contaminated property. It may be contaminated when oil spillage happens and it remains for years to years. Like in Indonesia, when accident happens, a ship has broken down between the sea and all the oil which it was carrying was flowed over by the tides of the water and to the coastal areas. Only the one region of oil spillage can happen over the coastal areas. Other regions are not environmental regions, they are natural regions. Okay? There is a difference between natural regions and environmental regions. Clear? Environmental regions happens due to by air, water and soil pollution. not through natural process. The natural process is storm has come up. There are certain, you can say, typhoons have come out, cyclone has come up, you can say tsunami can come up. So these are the natural disaster, not the environmental disaster. So that I will give you an example in Bombay, where the coastal areas properties are the costliest as compared to the properties which are in the between the central place of the town. Okay, Taj Hotel, which is adjacent to the coast, gateway of India, is costliest place in Bombay. This is not necessary. Clear?
Yes.
Clear, sir. Okay.
Okay. I am coming to again where I was.
Sir, how many marks will be there from exam point of view
I,
on environmental issue?
3 marks will be there only.
I see.
Environmental issues. I will give you the syllabus. Environmental issues may there is no more to be required. Only Environmental Act, EPA, and this remediation, and only these topics are sufficient. Only 3 marks. Environmental and valuation, difference between the market price. Are you seeing this right?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, we are
Yes,
writing.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please change the slide.
Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Cost to impact in value and cost measured on contaminated property. Stigma due to environmental factors. That is called the intangible cost. Yeah. Environmentally contaminated property or source site, environmentally suspected property, environmentally remediated property, environmentally adjacent or proximate property site, cost to control, cost to public liability, cost to disruption, cost to operation. A lot of things are there. That will not be asked. Environmental valuation techniques. इसमें foremost thing है cost of control, remediation. Cost of control means to control the environment which has happened is cost to control. It is also called remediation. Okay? So these are the environmental valuation techniques. Unimpaired value, impaired value, diminution in value, remediation cost. ठीक? Impaired value कौन सा? Unimpaired value, the market value of contaminated properties, unimpaired value. Developed under the hypothetical condition and that the property is not contaminated. Impaired value, the market value of property being appraised with full consideration of the effect of all environmental condition and the presence of environmental contamination. The example which we have had will explain all these things. Diminution in value, the difference between the impaired value, unimpaired value and impaired value. What is diminution? The diminution means the difference in property value or the amount it has got reduced by the pollution is diminution in value. Difference क्या? Unimpaired value and impaired value. Unimpaired value is that is not contaminated. Impaired value is that is contaminated. Difference of the two will give you the diminution in value. What is remediation cost? The cost to clean up a contaminated property to the appropriate regular standards is remediation cost. Cost effects, use effects or risk effects are derived from remediation cost, which typically are estimated by environmental specialists. Clear? Use effect can be realized by estimating the highest and best use of the subject contaminated property in an impaired condition. Means what use we can use it in whether it is from whether it is contaminated or whether it is non-contaminated. Risk effects are derived from perceived environmental risk and uncertainty related to the property's environmental condition. Clear? This term in disclaimer, we have not taken into account risk associated with the property. So what type of risks are there? These are the risks associated with environment. These are the risks associated with the title of the property. We generally use the term risk. You got my point? Risk may be force majeure and non-force majeure. Clear? Force majeure is act of God, epidemic like this COVID time. If the property value has reduced in COVID time, we disclaim it. If we have not taken into account these effects while preparing the valuation report. Do you know, there certain disclaimer has been given by the IBBI now. To put in every report, how to write the disclaimer. The property which you have evaluated. These are the risk effects. Clear? This example I have done it. Come. Sale comparison approach. The sales comparison approach, also known as market approach, is a systematic gathering, recording, and analyzing data of similarly affected property recently sold and comparing sales to the contaminated property being valued. When adequate data exists for similarly affected property, this approach is considered the most objective and supportable. Step 1 is identification of contaminated property. How you evaluate the valuation for the contaminated properties. So this sales comparison approach is adopted. Clear? So what step 1 is identification of contaminated properties. Analyze and comparing it with non-contaminated properties. Adjustment of prices of comparable properties. When you will compare the properties, how the adjustment of prices happens. Determination of the value estimate or stigma assessment, which I have already explained in previous example. Clear? Cost approach. The principle of cost approach determines the cost of producing a similar property as a replacement. So it is clear that this approach, the valuation must calculate the replacement cost by adjusting the estimate of the remediation cost and diminution in value of the property resulting from market impact due to stigma. So these are the same things which have been given in different plates. Okay. The estimation part of the stigma is difficult. Only what part is difficult in this? Stigma part. A property which can be sold in crores can be sold in lakhs also, if the stigma is high. Clear? If the remediation, leave the remediation cost doesn't matter. If the stigma is high, your property cannot be sold in the market. It may be off from the market. So to protect the stigma part, generally valuer made a disclaimer in the report, or he mentions that this property has attached stigma. It will be hunted property also. Are you understanding what I am saying? So he may mention the point also. If what are the environmental factors that can impact the value of the property in his disclaimer or in his assumptions while evaluating the property. The cost approach is often applicable. Now, see an example. A industry or a plot or a bungalow is there where there is possibility or danger of tigers in the nearby area or snakes. So can this property fetch the same price because it has the stigma? It may happen that in 1 year or in 2 years, a tiger can approach there or a snake can happen there, but a stigma has been created in the town or in a particular locality. This property has the snakes, so this property is impacted by this ingress of tigers and other things. And to prevent this stigma, the value of such property can diminish at any stage. Clear? How to estimate? I have already the step one, estimating the value of subject property as is unimpaired, impaired हो गया. That means the direct and indirect cost due to contamination, the cost of elimination, the maximum probable losses.
Sir, please explain adjusting the estimate.
Which one?
Adjusting the estimate in cost approach. Because the construction cost, the material, the value of material is not going down, labor is not going down.
Boss,
Cost of the construction will be the same. Cost of the construction replace will be the same.
We are not talking about cost of construction is same or not same. We are talking about stigma here. What we will adjust? We will adjust this stigma cost only. Now, we have the actual figures. We have the scientific reason about it. We have remediated the property. Property is okay. After remediation also, the value the property may fetch is not fetching. Why it is? Then we will adjust its cost. Adjust is the same. We will adjust the stigma cost, which is hidden, which cannot be seen. Clear?
Okay, sir.
So how the cost approach is employed in case of environmentally polluted property. Step one, estimating the value of such property as if unimpaired. Step two, determine the direct and indirect cost due to contamination. The cost, what are these costs? Cost of remediation, the stigma factor based on probable losses, the specialized cost which include additional cost for management or remediation cleanup. Step third, estimating the value of contaminated property considering both these step 1 and 2. Means comparing the other property also. A cost approach example. The subject land 25 meter by 50 meter is located in the vicinity of a secured landfill. Secured landfill is a landfill which is being constructed for the purpose of solid waste management only, and all the technical parameters were deployed there so that pollution may be minimum. That is called secured landfill. What is landfill? Landfill is an area where effluent which is having the you can say heavy metals are disposed of, which can produce these radiations also, which are dangerous to the human health and well-being. Clear? Now the question tells a subject land 25 meter to 50 meter is located in the vicinity of secured landfill. Secured landfill के near about a land subject land है. The reproduction cost is found to rupees 4,200 square meter. Reproduction cost means the cost to produce the same mirror image. The cost of contaminant is found to rupees 5 rupees per square meter. Based on the probable loss during the contaminant, stigma was worked out to be 302 square meter. The accurate depreciation may be ignored. Ignore the depreciation. Determine the replacement cost of improved property. Now the question comes. Now, first of all, what is the area of the properties? And what is its reproduction cost? The total reproduction cost is 25 multiplied by 50. Do you have the calculator with you? Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Multiply it into 4200. Total cost is
1250 square meter.
Clear?
1250 square.
And cost of remediation is 505. This is the reproduction cost. Now, cost of remediation is, what is cost of remediation? 505 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 50.
Partial
6
stigma.
lakh 12,050. And stigma cost is 302 into 25 into 50. 37 lakh 75,000.
ఏం లేదు సుభద్ర వస్తే మరి అమ్మ మటన్ అన్నావు కదా వీరమ్మకి చెప్పి తెప్పించుకోండి
3,77,500. Now total cost due to contain the cost of remediation and cost of partial stigma. Okay. Now total cost of contamination क्या हो गया? Stigma plus में remediation. You got to find the cost of stigma plus में cost of remediation has to be total of 6,31,250. It comes out to be 10,08,750. And remediation, no, replacement cost of the land is 52,50,000 is the reproduction cost, and improved cost is 10,08,000 is to be added in that. In this will be your answer. A question can be asked like this. If a question comes from this, generally question doesn't ask. Generally, numerical questions from this chapter rarely asked. Clear? If a question comes, then you can answer it. That's why I have given 2 or 3 examples here. The valuer main work is to arrive at a value. He is not a historian to write everything on the pages. He is basically expert person. Clear?
Clear.
Yes. Determine the market value. Do this question.
Sir, 2000 is it index or year? Last line.
2000 is the index.
Then which year? 2000?
What?
In
2000
1990.
is the current year index. He is not mentioning the year. He is only saying that the current year is 2000. Clear?
Then please repeat again. It is current year means which year they are mentioning?
He is not mentioning anything. He only tells that current year. Current year may be assume that in current time he want to know the value. What is the current value?
And 2000 divided by 1450 will be there.
Yes. Very correct. Determine the market value, the cost of construction is found that diminished on account of discovery of contamination by 35% of its current construction cost. The industrial property worth rupees 20 lakh located in Sachin Industrial Area, Gujarat was constructed in the year 1995. The construction index of 1995 is 1450 and that of current year is 2000. Simply, what you have to do? 2000 divided by 1450. That will be a multiplying factor, 1.379. To whom you are going to multiply this amount? He says the industrial property worth is 20 lakh into 20 lakh. So what does it value comes then? 27,58,621. He has taken 60,000. Okay. Now he wants that, he is telling that 35 depreciation, 35% due to contamination, value got diminished. So diminish this value by 35% into 35% minus. So what value is left? 17,94,000. This is what he wants. Clear?
But what there will be no other depreciation because
Land
because
depreciation कैसे
Try
होगा?
to understand the question first. What question wants? You will not assume yourself. Question wants that one question is asking from you. Question is asking determine the market value in the cost of construction is found diminished on account of discovery of contamination by 30% of its current construction cost. Now, what we will do? What is given? The industrial property was rupees 20 lakh. 20 lakh amount of the property is given. Constructed in the year 1995. Now, he is giving the two indexation. 1995 का indexation he is giving 1450. Current year का 2000. Clear? We will calculate the multiplying factor. How much value of 20 lakh will come in the current year? To estimate the current construction cost, the property is unimpaired. Property is unimpaired. It is not contaminated. Clear? So 20 lakh multiplied by 2000 by 1450. That multiplication factor comes out to be 1.38. The property value has increased 1.38 times as compared to the 20 lakh in 1995 to the current year. Current year may be whatever may be. If it is not given, why you are pushing your mind here? Why it is not here? He wants that what is the value in current year? Just so that value comes out to be 27,60,000. No, this is not depreciation. This is the diminishing in value by contamination. Clear? He is writing here, diminished on account of discovery of contamination by 35%. Reduce this value by 35%, your answer is there. 35% reduce, you will get your answer 9,66,000. Minus this amount from the total amount is 2760. Your answer will be 70,94,000. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Clear? Now,
I think Sandeep ji has some of the internet issue, so we will just call him. Please wait and mark your attendance. We already posted this link.
Hello, Sandeep. I am Girish Limay. So you are aware of my.
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Don't worry.
We are waiting for Goyal ji or
Yeah, sir. We are just contacting him. We are just calling him.
Hello, Sandeep sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh, this test has to be given now. This
Pardon,
is
sir.
30 minutes. There is 30 minutes test, it is showing
Uh-huh.
self-assessment test that is to be attended now or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can attend this self-assessment test after this session.
but I have already done earlier. So is it necessary
Okay,
or?
okay. No, this is not necessary to be done twice. So if you already attended, so it is good, sir.
Sir,
Otherwise, it will
Secondly,
be, yeah.
hello.
Otherwise, it
Secondly,
will be advisable
about
that
hello about the attendance certificate we'll get that is by
yes, yes,
tomorrow.
certificate we will dispatch by tomorrow. First, we will see the attendance and then we will dispatch the certificates. So Sandeep
So it
Goyal
will
ji
be
has joined us.
it
Let's
will be
continue.
hard copy or it will be
One
hard
question
copy.
has been left.
So we can just discuss
sir,
this later on. First, we have to just complete our session.
sir, tomorrow
Can I
morning we have got a session. Hello.
Yeah, could you repeat?
Sir,
can I give
tomorrow
mock
morning we
test
have
tomorrow?
got a session.
Rajendra
Some
ji, could you
leftover
repeat?
portion of okay. Tomorrow morning we have got some session
No, no, no. Tomorrow we are not having any
of the
session. This is the
leftover.
last session of this 50-hour training session,
Okay, sir.
training program. Yeah.
Some leftover was going to be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So Sandeep ji, please continue, sir.
Yes, 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 yes. Everybody is now able to see the screen. Hello,
Yes, yes, yes.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
yes, we can.
Yes,
Last
sir. We can
time
see
Yes,
was
that.
left.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Suddenly network dropped.
Okay, sir, no
We
problem.
are,
Kamal,
we are
yes,
able to see
Kamal had
the
rented
slide.
his property.
Yeah, meanwhile, we could make it feedback. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what?
We could able
You
to
know?
complete feedback also as directions given by our coordinator.
Okay, 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 okay.
You can go ahead, sir.
Okay, Kamal had rented his
Please
property.
continue, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm continuing it. This important question, basically, I don't leave any stone unturned. I don't want that any important question can be asked in the IBBI. The syllabus is continuously changing. Kamal had rented his property at rupees 30,000 per annum net of outgoings. Net of outgoings means after deducting all the outgoings, this is the residual income he is having. The yield up to last year was found to be 10%. The subsequent to the complaint made by tenant, the discovery of the contaminant was made and the yield was found to be 12%. Determine the value of contaminated property. Simple. How you will determine the value of the contaminated property? From income approach, 30,000 is your income and yield is 10%. Not as up to 12% yield. So YP is, what is YP? Years purchase, 1 by R. R is 10. So 100 by 10, 30,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 10. How much it becomes? So this will be your capitalized value, 3 lakh. Now step 2, take yield of 12% and difference of these two will be your answer. Very simple question. Please read this question and do it. The loss in value of contaminated property will be right.
Question is simple.
Very simple.
Simple, but one wording I am just stuck up in one word.
It has asked to determine the value of contaminated property.
Execute. Net of outgoings. Net of incoming or outgoing. Is rent is incoming.
Net of outgoing means after deducting all the outgoing, this is the net income. Okay. After deducting all the outgoing, this is the net residual income with Kamal.
Achha.
What the question is telling? Kamal had rented his property at rupees 30,000 per annum net of outgoing. Means after deducting all the outgoing, this is the net income he is having per annum. Clear? But this is the only cost of this question was this word only. Now, first calculate the value on 10% yield and then calculate on 12% and deduct both the values. The deduction will determine the value of contaminated property.
Sir, why we should make on 30,000? Why shall we not make on 3 lakhs? I thought
if the question is given like this, you don't want to change. If you can change the question directly, then what will your answer will be? You have to move as per the question's requirement. Okay, that is the foremost thing. What the question is asking, what is given in that?
Determine the value.
This is not a
contaminant was made and the yield was found to be 12%.
Yes, yes. Some of the people I found that they were not in the morning session here. Is this the case? How many of you have attended morning also? Morning session?
Morning
all the people attended, sir.
All the people? Good.
Yes.
I am seeing one Mr. Ravi Chaman. He is new, I think, in the group. He was not in morning.
Sir, what is the morning? I was in plant and machinery. And I was in plant and machinery.
Good. Now I conclude the session, and I hope all of you must have learned something from this training and will do their best in the coming